Hey friends, Kris Krohn here, and today we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of real estate investing. This is in our partner series, and so when I partner with people, I love to set the right kind of expectations, and I'm also showing you how to partner with others. So if you're watching for that purpose, I want you to understand, you shouldn't sugarcoat things, you should paint the picture the way it is. The day will come when that property does something you don't want it to. And it's interesting because, on a short-term hold, if we hold a home, let's say for 1,000 days, right, 3 years, it's gonna behave almost all the time. But it might have that moment where it doesn't. I'm not telling you it's gonna misbehave on every property over a 5-year period of time, but at some point, if you have 3, 4, 5 properties, you're gonna have one sooner or later that does something you don't want it to. And it could be month 1, but if you buy 3, 4, 5 homes, it usually happens a couple years in. And it's where there's an unexpected repair because of something the tenant did to the house. You might have to do paint, you might have to do carpet. And the reality is, we've spoken about our Sleep Well at Night account. We're funding our bank account with enough money so that we've got enough to handle whatever that looks like. The nice thing about all the properties that I've done is that we are able to backtrack in our markets and say, what are repairs that we project and what are repairs that we think will happen? What are vacancies? What we can do is we can account for as many of the expenses as possible that are in the ordinary. But we're prepared for the out of the ordinary. The out of the ordinary doesn't happen hardly at all, but when it does, it is something that you need to get prepared for. You need to be mentally prepared, you gotta be financially prepared. The mental preparedness is coming out to my event, connecting with me and having a relationship with me and getting my mindset trainings and get that mentorship with me. But on the other hand, it's also about being financially prepared. And we don't put money up for putting 20% on a deal unless we also have the ability to fund the bank account appropriately. So we always look at everything holistic so that we're actually thinking so far down the road that we're making a financial decision today for 4 years from now. That's how far ahead we are. We're thinking in decades. And that's because some of you are gonna partner for 10 years. Some of you wanna work with me for 2 decades. And that's because you wanna go from a little bit of money to a lot of money and from a lot of money to building a legacy. So we think long-term so that we can build real sustainable freedom, real long-term wealth that can treat us well. You just gotta make sure that you're mentally prepared for it because financially, we will be if we're partnered together. If you're gonna partner with someone else, I recommend $10,000 on your first single-family home price below the median, and I put an extra $5,000 every time after until my account has about $25,000, $20,000 in it. You're gonna find that that is an obscene enough amount to cover everything that portfolio is going to need. Now, once we have the LLC that has maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 homes in it, and we've funded it appropriately, then we're gonna start another LLC and we're gonna create separation from this entity to that entity, and then we're gonna refund our Sleep Well at Night accounts. Basically, what I'm letting you know is that when real estate does something you don't like, when it is vacant longer than you want it to be, when someone beats up on the house, these things don't take place very often, but I want you to know that we've built it into the business and we expect it. It's not a negative. It's not a bad day. We don't get angry about it. We don't get frustrated, perturbed, irritated, annoyed. We 100% understand that that is part of making a lot of money. I had years ago sat down with a client of mine that had bought 2 homes, and they had bought in one of my strategic markets. And a few years into the process, they sat down with me and they said, "Kris, we're so stressed." I said, "Tell me about it, guys." I'm like, "Well, we bought these homes. We've never been in debt before. We mortgaged our house to do this. Now we have debt on our house. We've got debt on these 2 homes. I mean, we're just not sleeping well. We're really concerned." I said, "Okay, well, tell me about the homes. Are they making money?" He's like, "Oh yeah, well, the first one's making us $400 a month. This one's making us $400 or $500 a month." They were making like $800 or $900 a month between the 2 of them. I'm like, "You guys are financially better off and servicing all your debts and then having plenty of leftovers, right?" "Well, yeah, but we still have debt and that makes us uncomfortable." I said, "Okay, well, tell me about the values." And they had bought both of these homes for right around $100,000. We're now worth about $150,000. Their net worth had gone up, almost $100,000. They were still worried. I said, "So let me make sure I understand this. You're making $700, $800, $900 a month cash flow. You've got $100,000 in net worth increase on just 2 properties in the last few years, and you're staying up late at night with stress and worry because of the debt." They're like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll make you a deal. I'll take those 2 homes off your credit. I'll pay the same thing you paid for them. We'll wipe the slate clean. I'll take them." And all of a sudden they got defensive and they said, "No way." Now, I never would have really done that. "What is it?" They're like, "Well, we're making all this money every month cash flow and our net worth's gone up." I'm like, "Guys, then you gotta pick. Which foot are you gonna put your camp in? The one that says, I can't stand making so much money, or the one that says, I love making so much money? You can't be both. Which one are you?" That's why we need the mindset training, because when real estate does something you don't want, or when you're managing a higher level of debt, I mean, understand I've made millions of dollars from managing debt. I have no intention of ever paying our houses off other than by selling them. We're not trying to put on a 15-year mortgage. We're not trying to pay them down. We're trying to control them and then eliminate them. That's how we make a lot of money. Come in with the right system, get the lion's share of gains, have the highest predictable upside of good profits, and then those profits are going to diminish with time. So after the 5th, 6th, 7th year, it's time to sell them and roll that into something bigger and more. And so we've got this thing really nailed down. Now, you and I, if we buy 20 homes, 50 homes, 100 homes, we're going to have a couple of war stories to tell. But I also believe that the profits are going to far outweigh any of those war stories. And you'll find that I'm never going to get my panties in a knot. I'm never going to get negative or upset over it. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to treat it as fact and information that it is, make good, wise decisions based on our experience. We're going to move forward. I'd encourage you to learn how to do the same. When my money's on the line, when your money's on the line, there's a learning curve in learning how to do that. But you can learn how to do that when you're in a good relationship with a team that has experience, and I don't know what more you can really ask for. So the good, the bad, and the ugly is that 99% of the time it's good. And once in a while, it's going to turn on you and look bad. But don't lose sight. Have vision. If you could walk away from this video with one thing before we continue your training, it's that you need to have the perspective of the decade instead of the perspective of the moment. You see, in the moment, fear will set in and say, this is going the wrong way. And in your mind, you can expand that to be such a bad thing. But every bad scenario I have in real estate like that, you wait a couple more years, and when you sell and you get all your profits, guess what? In most situations, you say, that was totally worth it. Time solves all in the game of real estate. Sometimes we have to wait longer than we wanted, but that is the solution that will help bail us out. So we got our sleep well at night account, we got time on our side, we got cash flow in the meantime, and we've been doing this with a strategy we've done on over 3,000 homes. And I'll tell you that instead of getting so upset and uptight about the times that don't go well, they are short, they're brief, you learn how to mentally manage it, and then be okay with it. It's just having those hiccups and having those problems are a part of making a lot of money in real estate. Hey, thank you so much for watching today. In the next video, we're going to talk about how much money our partnership can realistically make. Some of you want to know, when can I retire? How much money can I make? And I'm going to give you a little hint. In that next video, I'm going to give you a little strategy that's going to open up the door to say that you can build as much wealth as fast as you want with the strategies that I can teach and show you. So it's super exciting times. If you are thinking about partnering with me and you want to go through that interview and criteria process, then go ahead and click the link in the description below, talk with my team. Generally, you need to have 6 figures or more to be able to partner with me. I have some of my partners that have millions of dollars, and we're also building with them. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're like, Kris, I'm not in a great financial situation, I appreciate this training, but what can I do with it? Go to kriskrohn.com, spell my name the right way, and if you go there, I want you to find Partner Profits. Partner Profits is an extensive course that gives you your LLCs and gives you the business plan, and will show you how to find people with the money and how you can do deals with them. So this video has something for everybody. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you take care of that. And otherwise, I'll see you on the next video in this series of how to successfully partner.